Hello, everyone. My name is Islam Gouda. I'm the Marketing Maestro. I'm a 360 marketeer, global brand ambassador for the Revenue Marketing Alliance in the UK. I help companies and individuals, B2B, B2C, and B2G, achieve their strategic marketing goals and positioning them so that they can better communicate with their customers and provide their uh, products and services in a better way than what they are currently doing. So if you'd like any help, any assistance, I'm right here for you.
You're watching Success, Motivation, and Inspiration, where we share interviews with incredible leaders who are crushing it in life and business.
Hey, welcome back to Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. Today we've got Islam Gouda on the show, and really excited to chat with you, man, about your marketing and branding techniques. What are some of the biggest marketing mistakes that small businesses often make?
Small businesses, they have big aspirations. They have ideas, big ideas, but unfortunately, they are very low on resources. They try to have capital before they venture into the business so that it can support their marketing goals. But unfortunately, the capital is scarce at the moment. There's not so much resources that's dedicated to them because of their unique ideas that does not fit into the market now. And people are capital thinks on the short term rather than on the long term, but small to medium enterprises think on the long term rather than on the short term. Take for example Apple. When they started their business, they didn't think on the short term. They thought about the long term. Think about Amazon. When they started as a book selling company, but they didn't have, or Jeff Bezos did not think about or provide to venture capitalists the idea that we are going to expand to other products and provide other services. So the thing about resources is that it's always the worst enemy for small to medium enterprises, and that's why they should be supported by venture capitalists who have a wide range of resources and also believe in their ideas. But that happens if you only believe in your idea as a small to medium enterprises first, and then you can convey to the venture capitalists that your idea is worth investing in.
Perfect. And then, can you explain or kind of describe your perfect target client? If you could work for one client exactly down to age, gender, marital status, the way they vote, their religion, whatever it is, if you've got a specific client that you could really help with a specific problem, who is that?
Uh, to be honest with you, marketing is a very wide spectrum kind of business. When you are into the business of doing marketing, you are into the business of communicating with people effectively and efficiently, all sorts of people. So if I niche it down, I would say that I'm serving people who are looking to venture into the Middle East because I have a wide range of experience in that field. So Dubai, Saudi, or Qatar, or whatever, because I'm more than apt to provide my services to these people because I've worked in these regions. I have a foot in the East and the West, so I know how the U.S. market. Of course, the U.S. market is not only focused on one certain set of key characteristics, but it's wide characteristics. So each and every market has different wide range of people that they cater to. But I'm apt to understand the general knowledge of how to market to people in these markets. So having a foot in the East and the West provides me with the edge of knowing how the customers think. I'm acculturated to different cultures, backgrounds. In Dubai, I have worked in different kind of organizations, multinational, local government. There are over 200 nationalities in Dubai. There are many ethnicities in the US and in the UK as well, because I have worked in these areas. So I'm serving people who would like to venture into business or who would like to provide a clear overview or outlook for their personal brands. Someone who would like to position themselves, or for example, I was helping book authors to promote their books in the US and become bestsellers, Amazon bestsellers. I helped an HR company achieve its goals. I helped a steel and concrete company achieve its goals into venturing into Dubai. So I'm a wide range 360 marketeer that provides assistance to B2B, B2Z, B2G, and B2C.
Now, what's a key marketing strategy that actually drives revenue?
Key marketing strategy that drives revenue is basically being authentic. That's very much overlooked, and it's thought about it as something that it's not very necessary. When people mix between being authentic and marketing authentic, being authentic for the sake of marketing, that's something, it's totally absurd, because basically when you are authentic for the sake of marketing only, then you are not being authentic, and people can see through you and they will not buy from you. Being authentic means that you're selling something that pertains to you, which connects with the audience. Basically, you are connecting with the audience on so many levels, not just transactionally, not just on the basis of that you would like to sell stuff to them. You are communicating your ethos to their ethos. You are communicating your values to their values. You are communicating more than just your products and services. You are bonding with the customers. You're creating relationships that gonna last for decades to come. And that's the key to winning a customer and winning the hearts of the minds of the customers. The essence of marketing is being authentic and being candid. You should be candid all the time with your customers. If you're having a flow, if you're having a customer feedback, you should listen to it. If you have a problem in your customer service, you should listen to the customers. Of course, there are some cliches that I would be thinking about or rethinking about. For example, saying that the customers are always right. In our day and era, customers are not always right. Sometimes customers, they are your biggest problems and biggest challenges. Sometimes you have to dismiss some customers. So be balanced, have authenticity, in addition to being able to satisfy your internal needs and internal wants and your internal customers as well, your employees.
Now, there are a ridiculous amount of different marketing tools and options and places to spend money for paid ads versus earned media. Now, everything from Facebook to Google to all of the different CPC, CPM ads. What are some of the effective strategies that you would use, or that you would share with our audience to help them to figure out where to spend their budget if they're on a tight budget?
The most important thing before thinking about the medium is to do research. So research, and more research. So you need to understand where your customers are at. So communicating with your customers, basically, I've seen companies like they have a channel on Facebook, they have a channel on LinkedIn, they have a channel on YouTube, and they decide that one channel is not working effectively and efficiently and is not reaching to the customers, so they shut down this channel. That's it's very wrong on so many levels, because basically you never know who is watching. You never know where your customers at. You need to use data analytics and research effectively and efficiently so that you can reach the target audience in a very direct way. Now, how you choose the medium and CPC or whatever, you need to do research, and you need to understand through the analytics where your customers at. You need to do tests, you need to do research, pre-test. You need to have a set of people that you basically tell them that we have this channel. I would like to monitor our usage and how our post or whatever that we're doing is effectively and efficiently reaching you as a customer. And you should listen to the feedback and understand how this feedback resonates with other audience and other target demographics. So before choosing which metric or which KPI that you should use to measure effectiveness or efficiency of your campaigns, you should do research and more research.
And now, your company specifically, I know you said you help out with a whole lot of different niches, different genres, different types of marketing. Are you more, I mean, there's everything from print media to billboards to digital ads to paid versus earned media, all these different things. What is your main focus, the main service that you offer?
I do consultancy.
How is that affecting your
I do
audience?
consultancy. Basically, I'm into the strategic part of doing marketing. So marketing is different, like 360. I'm a 360 marketeer. So I start with cascading the marketing strategy and marketing plan. So there's a difference between marketing strategy and marketing plan, of course. I do the marketing strategy and plan, and then I cascade it to the different departments. I can wear the hat of different kind of people inside the marketing team. Like, for example, events manager, events marketing manager, public relations manager, communication manager. I can wear these hats, but I'm a 360 marketer focused on the strategy itself. So when it comes to the strategy and how to do marketing with the different kind of research, tools, the strategy itself that entails how to spend the budget and the roadmap to achieving your target, whether it's return on investment or above the line or below the line, which achieves the brand awareness goals. So I'm into marketing strategy, but I can wear different hats into the marketing team. and I'm very apt to provide my services and consultancy services among different teams because I have worked in different multinational cosmopolitan teams across the globe, and I know how different nationalities think. So I'm a culture to different cultures and different nationalities.
Understanding culture is a powerful thing. How do you help marketing and sales teams to communicate effectively?
That's a very good question. So marketing and sales, they are two different words under umbrella. So marketing and sales, they function into positioning the company first from marketing perspective, positioning the company, and then the sales go to convert the customers from interested customers to buying customers. Now, some say that because I'm into the revenue marketing realm. So some say that revenue marketing brings both sales and marketing together because revenue is something that people use to focus on the efforts that basically we are not into just making profit, we are into making revenue. And that is basically the overarching notion of doing business. That's why companies do business, is to create revenue and generate revenue. So when we focus on revenue itself, we focus on the efforts that marketing departments and the sales departments are into. And then we discuss how we can achieve these targets based on KPIs that are targeted to the marketing department or to the sales department. Now, other things that bring marketing and sales together, other than revenue, is basically the interest of the company itself. The interest means that basically if you don't operate on self-fulfillment goals, like for example, you are only achieving your KPIs and targets, you think of the best interest of the overall company, then you are better off of providing your, not services, but providing your work to the company itself. So I'm not working only for the departmental success of the company, of my department. I'm working for the success of the company overall. That's how people achieve targets. And that's how people achieve not only personal targets or departmental targets, but also company-centric targets. That's why I'm focused on to not only being sales-centric or marketing-centric, but being human-centric. So being human-centric, I'm thinking about the human element. Me as a management, I'm directing my subordinates into providing me with the best results and the best approach and the best mean possible. And that becomes the motto of my leadership. I'm not into just bringing in profits. I'm also bringing in happiness for my internal stakeholders. That's how we capitalize on the successes of our people so that we can bring more success to our people and to our customers who are our people as well. So we can bring in much more than ROI. We can bring in happiness, and happiness that makes lasting relationship with our customers.
Now, what's your take on the demand generation versus brand awareness?
I think that there's a confusion between demand generation and awareness because basically people confuse sales with marketing. So demand generation is done by marketing through MQLs, marketing qualified leads, but awareness is basically concerned with marketing only. But I think that we have overcame this problem by explaining to the people that marketing is doing something else than what sales is doing. Some people understand it, some cultures understand it, but some other cultures, they stick with the old or some other, I'm not talking about cultures that in the context of countries, I'm talking about cultures like corporate culture. So some corporate
Like
cultures, corporate cultures. So some
corporate culture. Okay.
corporate cultures, yeah. Some corporations, they have mixed between marketing and sales to the extent that they have a sales and a marketing manager. So these two positions have been mixed together. They came together into one position, which is fine and to some extent. But what the marketing manager is doing is different than what the sales manager is doing. I think that bringing those terminologies together is drastically problematic. I mean, people can do sales and marketing, and it's an art, but you have to have the science of it. So whoever understands marketing understands sales, but whoever understands sales not necessarily will understand marketing. So I need to have separate between both worlds, because basically, if I bring those titles together, I'm going to confuse demand generation with awareness, which will drastically hurt my company because sometimes I spend money just for the sake of spending money on brand awareness. Sometimes I'm spending money to bring in ROI. That's what will clash between the marketing sales manager and the finance manager. The finance manager will always will held the marketing and sales manager accountable and tell him or her, can you please explain to me how did you spend on these activities? And did these activities bring in sales or bring in money to the company? So the sales or marketing manager, sometimes events or activities are inexplicable because basically sometimes you do activities for the sake of doing activities. Like, for example, the Super Bowls. The Super Bowls in the US, sometimes the companies, they have to participate. They have a budget that basically dedicated for the Super Bowls. But does the Super Bowls necessarily have to yield end results? I don't think so. Some companies, they lose even money, but it's dedicated part of the budget. They have to do these ads because it's basically part of the calendar, their events calendar, their content calendar, and it creates lots of buzz. Now, how you can translate that buzz to return on investment or return on marketing investment? That's very tricky to do. Sometimes people are using metrics like revenue, like ROI, like CTR, like different metrics that you use during the campaign, but it's very difficult to measure. That's why it's very I'm not doing the marketing department justice if I just held them accountable for the return on investment, because some activities they require the intervention of the sales department. So, for example, if a company that's not very well known, that they hire an ad on the Super Bowls, they do an ad for 5 seconds or 30 seconds, whatever. And then the sales department, they jump in and go to the customers and tell them, hey, did you see our ad on the Super Bowl? Customers will start remembering. So some activities, they require the intervention of other teams. Some activities, they are generating revenue on their own, but we need to separate between both activities, because basically marketing and demand generation is totally different than brand awareness.
Well, there's a couple things on that you mentioned where you'll see, as far as the analytics go, you see Coca-Cola running billboard ads. They've got the vinyl window decals on every gas station you could possibly think about, Super Bowl ads, all these crazy things. I would venture to believe that there are not many people who have ever in history seen a Coca-Cola billboard and decided, you know what, I'm going to go try Coca-Cola for the first time. But what they've done is they've flooded the market so much by creating that brand awareness and make it to where people know, like, and trust them. Sponsoring movies, having the polar bears doing their little dance for the Christmas stuff. And so you automatically recognize that brand. There's something where it would be ridiculously difficult to track the ROI on those actual advertisements. But same thing with billboards. When, if you walk into a gas station, the amount of money and resources that it would take to get every gas station or fast food employee in the world to ask, hey, did you see this? Which billboard did you see this on? Did you see a magazine ad? Did you see a TV ad? People aren't going to remember. They just go, yeah, I've seen it. I like the product, or everybody drinks Coke. That's why I want one.
Actually, that's a great example what you mentioned, because basically Coca-Cola, they don't do ads for return on investment. They do ads to remind people about how unique they are. But I will give you another example of one of the campaigns that was done about in the thousands. It's Oreo. If you remember that ad, it's called Dunk It, just Dunk It.
Oreos. Okay.
Oreos, Dunk It. If you remember, they have collaborated with their marketing team, social media team on Twitter, and the tweets were just they were lots of tweets about how they diminished the lights in the Super Bowls, and how this simple message of just dunk the Oreo itself into milk and whatever. So basically that's a campaign that they took the advantage of both the physical world and the virtual world, and they used a new technique. It's called FIGO, which is physical and digital. So they combined between both these worlds, the digital and the virtual world, and they created a campaign that resulted into many, many, many likes by the customers. And did they sell after this campaign? I'm not sure. I'm sure they did. Was this campaign to sell? I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Because this is brand awareness campaigns that they do stuff all the time to remind people about how important it is to buy from this brand, how important it is to become part of the people's culture through this brand, how important to be habitual in your marketing activities with the customers into mind, and with the products into mind. So that's very key, and that's very important when doing marketing
This interview is sponsored by Newswire magazine. We celebrate the entrepreneurs and thought leaders shaping the future, those who don't just adapt, but innovate, who inspire others to think bigger, lead boldly, and create lasting change. Only a select few are featured in Newswire magazine, and for those who earn a place on the cover, the opportunities are unmatched. Your story shared with a global audience, your achievements celebrated on national billboards, reaching millions. Every leader has a story. Every vision deserves a platform. Who will rise to the top? Stay tuned. You're witnessing greatness unfold.
Welcome back to Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. We're on today with Islam Gouda, marketing expert, marketing and branding expert. How can businesses create a loyal community based around their brand?
To create a community. So basically, a community-led marketing is the way to go nowadays. So a brand, instead of just communicating, sending messages out there to the blue without understanding the audience, without understanding how to get feedback, is to create a community. To create a community around the brand itself. Look at communities around Apple. Look at the communities around Amazon. Look at the communities around. Look at the feedback on Amazon. Amazon itself created a community based on feedback and communication and comments from customers about the products. So whenever you are trying to buy a product from Amazon, you look for the reviews. So that's part of the community. That's a community action that we are all aware about, and we all do it before we buy a product. So these communities, basically, they are the future of doing marketing, because basically, if you just do marketing do marketing and spend dollars in the air, and you think about the return on investment because you spend money, that's ridiculous. That's not anymore happening nowadays. Marketing, community-led marketing is the future, and it's basically the way to go, especially for younger generations like Gen Zs, the alphas and the betas of the future. These are the backbone of the communities that are going to take place instead of the millennials who are getting old nowadays. Baby boomers, they have lost the purchasing power, and future generations, which based on the community and the community foundations like sustainability, buying green, buying old stuff instead of new stuff. All of these ethos that bring people together for the future generations. This is the backbone of doing good marketing.
What are some underrated strategies related to digital marketing that companies are often missing?
Content. I think people, when doing content, they are bamboozled by the different technologies that can do content, like ChatGPT and all that stuff. But the human element still is prevailing in these activities, because basically you need to have the best of both worlds. You can have machine learning and machines doing your writing for you, but you need to edit for human touch. And I think that search engine optimization on ChatGPT and the AI SEO also is underrated, because people nowadays, they don't Google stuff anymore. They ChatGPT stuff. So if you would like to win on the digital realm and on social realm, you need to SEO the digital stuff that's going on ChatGPT and AI search, because this is the future of search, and the search engines are going to be obsolete in a couple of years. We didn't think about this before, but now with the competition that's happening between both China and the US in terms of open AI and all of that, I think that it's evident that AI search is going to be the winning bet for the future.
I hear people so often, especially older folks, that are terrified of ChatGPT, thinking it's going to be this robotic, robots taking over the world kind of thing, the evil robots. But one thing that I mention all the time is artificial intelligence does not actually exist at this point. It is simply the sum of all human knowledge that's publicly available at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ask a question, whoever's putting out the most content, the best quality, most content, with the best answers to that problem, it's combining those, whatever's publicly available, and responding in something that makes sense, in a similar language. But is that something, as far as you talked about SEO, that's a huge part of our business,
Mm-hmm.
is optimizing for search, making sure people are finding we do billboard ads all over the country. Put you on the 96-foot billboard in Times Square, New York. Nobody ever goes to. I mean, I would bet you nobody ever sees your face on the highway with your name beside it. Sees Islam Gouda, your magazine cover with your name, and then just decides, hey, I'm gonna go work with that guy. But as they've driven along the highway and they've seen your face, your magazine cover all over, you are automatically now the authority in their mind. It's similar to publishing a book. If somebody Googles has a question, they type it in Google, and now a book shows up, and you are literally the author of the book that's solving the problem that they have. There's no greater sign of you being the expert. So I love that you mentioned that. But as far as SEO, how important is your volume of content creation besides just the quality?
To be honest with you, the volume is irrelevant. You can write many blogs, you can write many websites, but that does not make you an authoritative figure. What does make you authoritative is the amount of community comments that are on this post, how people are reacting to one of your posts, how people are receiving your post. This is what makes you authoritative. And by authoritative, I don't mean that you have the power on people to buy stuff, but you are being loved for a trait or another, so that people relate to you. They feel that you are part of them, you are speaking to them, you are conversing with them, and that's how they buy from you. I mean, influencer marketing, since you have mentioned people see you on a billboard or on a magazine, I mean, influencership or influencer marketing is key in nowadays market. And I think that QVCing products that are going QVCing sales through websites, that's going to be the future for selling products and services. But again, it's all dependent on how people are reacting to influencership or influencer marketing, because the most important thing about influencer marketing is being liked by the people. It's not by being authoritative, because you can be as authoritative. I would like you to buy this stuff. People don't buy like that. People don't like to be sold as. They like to be connected with. They would like to be conversed with. I'm talking to you now, and I'm in the middle of the conversation. I'm telling you about my book. You'll be more than happy to buy that book. But if I'm telling you, buy this book from me now, because I would like you to buy it. I mean, from where did I get the authority to tell you to buy?
Tell me about the difference between providing value over and over versus just asking for the sale a ridiculous amount of times.
That's a good question. Sometimes it's not about providing value, but it's about being there. That's why people tell you not to disappear from a space that you have been promoting yourself on for a long time. So as long as you are there, like there are many great marketeers around the world, but they don't promote themselves. We say that the carpenter's door is broken, so to speak. So they don't know how to promote themselves. So there are many great marketeers, but they don't promote themselves. They don't get themselves out there. They feel shy. They feel, I don't know how they feel, but they don't like to be on the spot. So they work on the basis of referrals. They don't like to do lots of stuff around the world. They just would like to be in their niche market. And that's okay. I mean, that's fine. But I mean, you can have value, but people don't know about you. But you can have great value and people know about you. That's the best thing about being in the media, in the marketing realm. Because basically, look about Seth Godin, Seth Goodwin, or look about Gary Vee. Look at all of these great marketeers around the world. People don't buy stuff from people that they don't know. People would like to know you first so that they can buy from you. People buy from whoever they know, not whoever has value only. Because you can have the best mindset in marketing in the world, but people don't know you. They have never worked with you. People they know have never worked with you. You need to work with people, you need to network, and you need to show your value so that people can buy it from you. And that's the best. That's the essence of doing marketing.
Now, if you look at if you compared that to, think of the best restaurant that you have ever been to, that's a single location, maybe they got 2 or 3 family-owned locations. They've got the best food you have ever tasted. And you compare their annual revenue to the same number of McDonald's in the same area. It's not that McDonald's is creating the best product. It's everybody knows McDonald's.
Yep.
And whether you like them or not, you know and you trust them that product that you order is going to be exactly identical in most countries. And there's different countries where they've got some different stuff, but the value, you don't even have to have the best product. Obviously, I would recommend having a great product service solution, but people knowing you is so much more important than just than just being there and really working on your craft, right?
I mean, these restaurants, they have combined two great ideas, the retail marketing and FMCG marketing. Retail marketing and FMCG marketing is combined and being in every corner of the street. Think about Starbucks when they started working in the US. They have in every corner a Starbucks store. Not because they would like to reach as much as possible, as much people as possible. That of course that's the main intent. But it's to remind people that hey, we are there. McDonald's, they have a breakfast that starts. I'm not sure about. I was in Florida. It starts 9 a.m., 8 a.m. And it ends around 12 or 11. They have a breakfast that basically people they stay in line to have this breakfast. Why? Not because it's the most fancy breakfast, not because it's the cheapest breakfast, but because it's part of their habitual culture to be part of this brand. It's part of who they are. It's part of who they became. It's part of their culture as people, as part of their culture as, like, for example, Duncan. America runs on Duncan. Like, it's part of the brand. It's part of the culture. It's part of how Americans feel and how American people think about the brand itself. They associated the brand with the whole culture. Can you imagine? As they said, America runs on Duncan. And that's how you capture the essence of people. And that's how you create community-led marketing, is to be part of the brand, to be part of the people, and to sell to the people, not just product and service. You're selling to them an idea that we are part of.
I love that. And you see, there's so many companies, Starbucks as an example. There are a ton of people that hate Starbucks because of the political or the religious or the different issues.
I don't like to talk
But
about this
one of the
stuff, but
things,
like, yeah, it's basically some of this intervenes with with the essence of the brand, but they have done. I'm talking about the marketing aspect. The marketing aspect of them doing business is them having expanded into many countries. Now they have.
I think we kind of tripped over each other there. What I was saying is you get so many people that don't like, let me start again. We'll just crop that part. So many people don't like, there's people who don't like Starbucks or certain companies because of the leadership's political stance or religious stance or whatever the issue is. But Starbucks has done a great job as far as just as a company to where that is the cool coffee shop. You see Instagram influencers where it would take an unbelievable marketing budget to hire all of the millions of young people who are posting their Starbucks cup. I mean, you get on, that's the first thing you get on Instagram, you start scrolling and you see people they're associating themselves with the coolness of the brand. And that's money that cost them nothing. I mean, that's advertising that cost them nothing because they've got an audience that loves them. And so even, if you got other folks that don't like it, they're seeing their daughter, their sister, their mom maybe posting stuff from Starbucks. And by the time it's flooded enough, even if they don't like the corporate structure or whatever, you may still stop at Starbucks if you're thirsty for coffee, right?
That usage, user created content, user generated content. Sorry, indeed, Starbucks they depend on UCG a lot. That's why. Have you ever asked yourself why do you ask your name so that they can write it on the cup? So that you can. It's beautiful for Instagram to have a cup of Starbucks at your hand. You're holding it in a very romantic place. You're part of the Starbucks culture, social media culture, sort of speak. So yeah, they have created that geniusly, genius marketing. Of course, I'm not going to knock the door of the politics or any of the problems that's happening nowadays, but I've talked about the geniusity of their marketing team. They have a genius marketing team that basically they focus on product development. They create products that suits the needs of the people. They create stuff that basically like writing the name of the people, like having different flavors, having different, like the tall cup, the medium cup, whatever. All of this caters
Sexy names for the cup, so
sexy
it's a
names,
cool
yeah.
thing when you order it.
So all of these tactics, they bring the Starbucks or McDonald's or these brands closer to the customers, being part of the culture, being part of their way of thinking, their mentalities. They're part of they are part of the people. They are part of the people that they buy them on a regular basis, and that's how they became a successful or success. Whether they are there are problems around them or no, we have to admit they are successful in doing marketing around the world.
Absolutely. It's been so great to have you on the show. I got one last question for you. I know we're both running short on time here, but what's one piece of advice you would give for young entrepreneurs or young marketers today? Maybe somebody who's competing with you in the industry. What advice would you give that young person who's trying to get to where you're at?
It's interesting that you mentioned competing. Like, I don't think about marketeers as my competition. I don't compete with anyone. I compete with myself. So it's not because of me being arrogant. I'm just saying that whoever there are people that I would like to learn from. So I'm not being so high-nosed that I say I don't like to learn. I have reached the status in marketing. I'm always learning. Whoever the marketing person who's teaching, I'm always learning. There are many ways to do marketing. Marketing is an art and a science. And basically, if you alienate yourself from doing business or doing marketing from the people, whether they are new generation or whether they are old generation or old techniques, I'm attending all seminars. You name it, whatever the genre, I'm trying to educate myself into marketing all the time, because the best marketeers, and that's my advice, the best marketeers are on the top of their game all the time. They are not obsolete. They are not yesterday's marketing machine that has become obsolete. They are today's marketing heroes that bring the best out of the customers and bring the best out of the company, two words together in one successful formula of doing business.
Absolutely awesome. You've been listening to Islam Gouda, Dr. Islam Gouda, on success, motivation, and inspiration. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. That was absolutely awesome today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.
Thanks for watching Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. This episode was designed to help you level up. See you next time.